We go to the next part of the program, Hiske.
Yes.
It's about precision AI.
Yes, we're going fast forward to our next speaker, Helmut Reisinger, CEO at Palo Alto Networks.
Helmut!
Hello.
Helmut, I'm really looking forward to your keynote because, ladies and gentlemen, in an era of AI innovation, the threat landscape is changing rapidly, and hopefully you've got the answer to that.
I tried to give you an answer and kind of ideas.
Okay,
Thank you
good
so
luck.
much. Good day, everybody. Thank you very much. It's a great honor to be back to the Dutch CIO Days. Congratulations, you are celebrating 20 years. You are older than Palo Alto Networks, believe it or not. And about 20 years ago, let me start with an anecdote. There was an evening dinner hosted by Jean-Claude Trichet, then the president of the European Central Bank. And their special guest of the bank was the former president of the Soviet Union, Mikhail Gorbachev. And Jean-Claude Trichet asked him, Mr. Gorbachev, could you describe the state of the affairs of the economy in Russia? And he said, the answer was, good. Now, Jean-Claude Trichet is a Frenchman. He wants to be a bit more poetic. He said, Mr. President, Mr. Gorbachev, could you be a bit more explicit? The answer was, not good. And the situation on cybersecurity facing AI is also not good. Why is that? Because on average, and the Dutch enterprises, you're globally connected, you're globally present, you're using about 30 to 40 different tool sets to protect your digital essentials. And it's very easy that something falls through the cracks. This is why 75% of you, the CIO, say, this is too costly, I need to simplify, and that this will give me a better security outcome. And then comes AI, where today, according to McKinsey, more than 50% of the knowledge workers are leveraging today generative AI already on their job, and most of them without permission. I was recently with a CEO in the UK, and we discussed together with his CTO, how do you handle the use of AI? He said, well, we issued a guideline. And by the way, it's a critical infrastructure company. We issued a guideline. It's not allowed for the moment. Right? He said to Jim, who was his CTO. And Jim said, yes, John, you're right. The issue is I cannot really control it. So what I would like to share with you is a bit those views. How is AI changing the threat landscape? What can you do? The ideas that I bring to you from Palo Alto Networks. Quick word about Palo Alto Networks, because there's a strong link here into the Netherlands. We are today the #1 cybersecurity company listed on Standard & Poor's 500. We have 2 big R&D hubs, one on this side of the ocean in Silicon Valley, the other one over here in Tel Aviv. And the company was built around 3 big convictions. 1, network and security go together, zero trust story. Second, we believe there is not only one answer in cloud, it's going to be a multi-cloud world, depending on what you are doing. And third, we need to leverage AI. So I'm standing here in front of you not to say, well, we put AI on the agenda, because at the moment it's state of the art to talk about AI. Palo Alto Networks have been leveraging machine learning, what we now call AI, for more than 10 years, with outcomes that I'm going to share with you now. The threat landscape is changing dramatically. Geopolitics is driving it. Look at what happened to the police here in the Netherlands. Your digital transformation, we heard some great stories before, is increasing the exposure, the way how COVID has changed the way of working. And of course, as well, AI is driving the threat landscape. You have also new phenomenon in Latin America, the environmental hacktivists. They attack business not because they want to steal knowledge or they want to get money from you. They attack enterprises because a gas pipeline provider across Ecuador, Peru, Colombia, and Chile, they say, what you're doing is bad for the planet, that's why we bring your business down. And we had to come to rescue and rebuild the foundation. And on the other hand, you see a lot of regulation. NIS2 is now into play in Europe and so on. Now, how is AI changing really the threat landscape? Give you 2 examples. It's about speed. 2 years ago, it took about 12 hours to create smart ransomware. This is down to 3 hours. We believe it's going to be 15 minutes in 2 years. The big topic for you looking at regulation that demands you on NIS2 that you have to give an indication within 24 hours if you have the suspicion of a critical incident is that on average an enterprise detects only after 6 to 7 days today at global level, by the way. It's not a European issue, it's a global issue. And the critical element here is the time between compromise and exfiltration. This was about 9 days 2 years ago. It has gone down to 1 day. We believe it's going to be about 15 minutes in 2 years. This is why there is a strong need for real-time cybersecurity. Now, what works against us is what I mentioned before about the not good. There's a lot of complexity out there. And yes, some people will tell you, oh, it's very easy, you just put all in the cloud and it's going to happen tomorrow, etc. We know corporate life or in public service is not like that. You need to transform this, quite radically sometimes, but it's not done within 24 hours. Complexity works again. Where do you put AI protection on this picture? By the way, these little boxes are all solutions you can buy from point solution sellers today, on vendors. Where do you put it? Do you put it towards your Zero Trust framework? Do you put it into your CSP on the cloud environment, etc., etc.? Okay. So our approach to this is we want to future-proof your AI journey. And we do this by making sure there is no uncensored use of generative AI. Think about a marketing knowledge worker who sits maybe in one of your foreign subsidiaries and he puts up into a generative AI tool. And by the way, we all talk about ChatGPT. There are 400 of these currently tools and large language models out there. And they're going to continue to increase. So what we are doing is we have launched AI Access, AI Security Posture Management. We manage your data, your models, and your ecosystem, and your coding of all of AI-driven applications that your coders are doing. Okay? So we future-proof your AI journey, and we make sure that across the estate that you have, because we are active in these three perspectives, network security, you heard a presentation of one of the parts of Zero Trust security before, network security, Zero Trust, cloud security, but also for your security operations center. We give you this holistic view so that nothing falls through the cracks. And on the defense side, we are convinced you need to leverage AI. In other words, you need to fight AI with AI. That's what we have been doing for more than 10 years. Now, this is why we launched Precision AI, because we said in cybersecurity you need to be precise. It's not about being creative. Our combination from what we've been doing, machine learning, deep learning, as well as now Gen AI for our co-pilots. And this is available across all the free platforms. 3 verbal examples. On the Zero Trust network security side, big Dutch high-tech company, 2 issues. They said big vulnerability in the Zero Trust framework. We need to move fast because we're in a very sensitive environment in the high-tech. Second, can you help us to future-proof the AI journey? And one topic I would like to raise there is they have gone from 4 different point solutions into one set of data, telemetry that you have. In this case as well, for us in Europe at the moment, macro picture is not great. There's a lot of productivity gains that you need to drive as CIOs. One of the topics is simplification, but also how do you handle the risk with third parties? Scandinavian company 2 weeks ago. Can you help us to reduce my cost with 40,000 subcontractors? I have them connect to me with VDI, virtual desktop integration. Huge cost for me. And I don't have really good security on it. All of these third party, when you have ecosystem, there's one smart, fast solution that we acquired 1 year ago. It's called Enterprise Browser. You give your own branded company browser. This is your entry point, and you control everything with the policy that you as CIO define. Prisma Cloud, cloud security, same thing here. Think about governance. At the moment, a hot topic. Do we have a clear overview who is using what and where are your cloud assets and which security rules they are having? With NIS2, with DORA in the financial industry, we have, at the moment, tremendous demand on that. And on Security Operations Center solution, we do detection, we do automation, we do the SIEM, and we do attack surface management. We scan the internet permanently. An example how we leverage AI, a big logistics group from Europe, active in 200 countries in the world, 320,000 endpoints that we have deployed in 4 months. The outcome was, after 2 months of deployment, their mean time to remediate in their global SOC, it's in Europe, by the way, was going down from 3.5 days to 19 minutes after 2 months. This is when you have good AI working to protect you. How do you have good AI working to protect? You need good telemetry data. This is the advantage of not having a point solution in one little box, but having telemetry data from network endpoints, from firewalls, from endpoints that can be an industrial machine in the OT world, from your cloud assets, and then you aggregate this and you can apply this instantaneously. And this is where we believe that this capacity that we have as Palo Alto Networks to detect today 2.3 million new attacks every day, they have not been there before, by the way. You see the power on the other side of the hacker side. Let me close with what the CIO, in this case it was a lady of this big logistics group, said. 3 things she said. After we have achieved the 3.5 days mean time to remediate down to 19 minutes. She said, wow, we did not believe that such a degree of automation is possible. Second, now we understand why in this part of our division, it's a global business on that front, there are 5 divisions, we always had issues because we didn't detect it. And the third thing, which goes back to the first presentation we heard from Damen a bit, which I believe is also quite telling, she said, you know what is most striking for me? When I go back to our global security operations center and I look at the employees, the agents there, the SOC agents, they are smiling again. Because work that can be automated is taken away from them and they can focus on the real thing. This is why we invite you also afterwards to have dialogue with us outside from Palo Alto Networks. We are fundamentally convinced. Please, if you're public sector or if you're private enterprises, local or global, you need to look for cybersecurity solution that gives you real-time cyber. Remember, it's shrinking the time to exfiltrate. Highly automated. We do not discover 2.3 million new attacks every day because we have 100,000 of people. It's machines applying. And you need to have a path to modular platformization to simplify your life and reduce cost. That's what I want to say. Congratulations to CIO Day 20 years. Thank you.
Helmut Reisinger, thank you very much.